It is the Whole Fucking Show on thewholefuckingshow.info. Fucking Show on Twitter, The Whole Fucking Show on Facebook. I'm Kevin Scampoli, a WWE loyalist. I don't have time for this TNA nonsense, but Danny Richardson, you've sold me.
I don't know if this is the time I want to take credit for that, but I am Danny Richardson, and I am the guy that is going to eventually convince Kevin that he should invest his Thursday nights watching TNA.
Well, when you told me they're doing 88-second matches now, I'm like, now I have time for it. Let me watch Jeff Hardy in his super fast I'm really drunk match. And what do you think it was? Let's watch him. Now, he doesn't come out immediately, which is the immediate sign that where is this guy? And then he stumbles a little. I don't think it's alcohol. It's got to be... What's he known for? Does he have a drug he's known for?
Apparently it's Scott Hall impressions.
Wasn't Scott Hall just a drunk, though?
Yeah, but that's what it looked like right there. That looked like when Scott Hall was doing the I'm drunk bit when he would come out. It was that same initial walk.
Well, that's good. I want you to notice stuff like that because we need to know. There's a lot of talk about this being a work. So we're going to have the final verdict on whether or not this is reality or a Vince Russo bit.
Well, I read a really good point online today where somebody pointed out, they said, it has to be a work. They said anything you see on TV on wrestling is a work. And if it wasn't, they would have never put it on TV. And I think that's a really good argument. That it's not like nobody talked to Jeff before he went out there. People knew the condition he was in, and they knew what they were in for.
Well, no, because then they act like there's no live TV. And I think what happened, and that's a good point. I mean, did they talk to him, and how soon before did they talk to him? That I think the main point, like a lot of people think they should have just substituted Jeff Hardy. However, what's their main storyline right now? There's so many different people who want a title shot. RVD and Mr. Anderson just had their number one contender match to a double countout. Who's the number one contender? They'll ruin that whole main event storyline for their biggest pay-per-view of the year next month if they just say plug AJ Styles in or some nobody for a belt shot.
So do you think they carry on with Jeff Hardy into the next pay-per-view with this?
I don't think they should, but I think they will. I see, what's Lockdown? That is their big one, right?
Yeah, that's one of theirs. I mean, if you listen to Mike Tenay, every month is their big one.
Oh, okay. Because that's really what I was basing it on. The way he was talking, like the road to Lockdown. I'm like, this must be their WrestleMania. Sting,
Yeah,
I gotta say,
Lockdown's a pretty good one because it's like all cage matches, I believe.
that's a pretty good idea. Sting is a guy that I now like. I like this red, like colorful gold jacket thing and how he mixes the red in with his paint. I'm like the last person to just get into Sting this week. I don't know if anyone else is on the same plane as me.
Now, we kind of missed it just there for a second, but there's a big scene that everybody's talking about when Sting gets into the ring, that the ref puts his hands up in the X sign, and that's something they generally do when a wrestler is really hurt. They make the X sign to the back to let them know that something went wrong. And then so right there, he leaned over and started talking to somebody at ringside. So a lot of people point that out as signs that the ref spoke to Jeff and then was passing it along that something's not right and that they're going to have to change things on the fly there.
So this referee made the call. I thought referees were just taunting in this federation.
Well, it may have been Jeff going to the ref and saying, look, I'm not going to be able to do this. And then maybe the ref passing it on, letting people in the back know that something shitty's about to go down.
Very interesting. I did not notice that. Now this guy knows. Let's see what he says.
It's time for your victory.
No, he has no idea. He obviously has no clue.
Jeremy Borash knows nothing. Don't give him any credit.
It's time for a 40-minute main event. He says it.
I'm sure Jeremy Borash is a great guy in real life, but fuck him and his 11-year-old boy body. I can't get past that.
This guy, do you think they threw that face paint on right before he came out because he just looked so fucked up? Maybe we can get him through this with a lot of face paint.
If we put on a couple extra layers, maybe it'll help him out somehow.
Let me tell you, my father could have used that same face paint at a few weddings we went to.
It would have distracted people from his stumbling.
We could have avoided his wrestling matches too if he also went to these weddings. Now, another point. If I talk over anything important with this storyline, let me know. You said the referee put an X up, which reminds me, X Division. What does the X Division even mean?
That is their version of the cruiserweight division, but I think without calling it cruiserweight or lightweight, they can kind of bend the rules on the weight limit.
Yeah, they
But
say no weight limit, which means they're basing the X Division on intangibles. What does that
Yeah.
mean? What is it?
it's it's one of those things that's like an unwritten thing or unspoken, but it's just more for the high flyers. It's from technical, but without putting a weight limit on, they can put guys like Samoa Joe in there.
Does Sting know yet, you think, that there's a problem? I don't think.
I do. I think it's being passed on, and I think we're assuming this is all shoot and this is all real. I think it's kind of being relayed, and I think they're kind of going into panic mode right now, figuring out how they're going to do this.
I do like Bischoff. He kind of talks to both of them off mic.
Slight change in plans. See, we had a little situation on March 3rd where the network
He sounds winded and scared.
involved in
Yeah,
our business.
I think he's trying to make his lines up as he goes along.
What's he saying?
That
We're going to go for the whole match here. Because Jeff Hardy looks pretty pissed off, too, and, like, surprised.
Mr. Hardy was taken advantage of in such a...
By the way, we should say that something weird's going to happen here, in case anyone's just finding this.
yeah, if there's people that have not heard.
That I'm going to be fair.
Sting's in the main event. That's the weird
And
thing.
this is his party. Look how intentionally he is holding the mic away behind his back so you don't pick anything
He's
up.
good.
Really, shake my hand. I want you to know I'm going to be fair.
He's really going, don't shake my hand. Listen, don't shake my hand. Shake my hand. No, seriously, don't shake my hand. This is what's happening.
And that Sting, they're I think they're communicating something, and I bet if you spend enough time analyzing this video, you could piece it together.
Here's what we're going to do. Had a chance
He's
to
like,
talk
look,
with
just
Mr.
punch me
Hardy.
and then pin him.
We decided to
Here's
level
my
my
the
other
playing
problem with
field,
TNA,
and
if I
since
can
Mr.
mix
Hardy
this
was
in,
unable to prepare for
as
you
he's going to say
on
bullshit
March
here.
3rd,
So
we got
they
together
need
with
to
Mr.
build their
Hardy,
mid-card, Danny
laid out the
Richardson. They have a bunch of generic nobodies in the X Division. A lot of bullshit happening. And when a new guy comes in, like a Matt Hardy, an RVD, a Mr. Kennedy, they're immediately in the main event world.
Yeah, anybody that has made a name before they came to the company gets pushed ahead of line, and that is one of the big complaints. Where now they've turned into the home of just rejects from WWF, where it's like you look like everybody that Vince doesn't want, you'll gladly take and make your main event.
Yeah, and that's okay except for the main event part. Take the rejects, but make them realize they're not, just because they're in WWE, they can't be in the title picture, you know?
Are you ready for Jeff Hardy's greatest match of his career right here?
I am, because this is great. I love how... do you think Sting knows, first of all? Does Sting know? Obviously he knows, right?
Yeah, I think it was relayed to him at some point, either between Bischoff or the ref. At some point, somebody's already told him. And that's, again, that we're assuming this is a work, but anybody that watched WCW towards the ending days there,
Yeah.
you would know, you watch this and you think this has Vince Russo written all over it, who is, still partially involved in the back. So I could totally see this being a Russo idea. Russo likes to completely fool the audience, and more importantly, Russo loves fooling the internet.
You're very right. But do you think, because Jeff Hardy, the worst on the mic ever, the worst actor, could pull off what he's doing with the whole... Look, a real drugged-out idiot would keep doing the same stupid, unfunny thing to each turnbuckle. He'd do the strap match all the way around. A guy who's acting would do that twice, and it would be awkward for a second. He kept doing it.
I think if he had to sell his drunken or drugged upness on the mic, they'd be in trouble.
Here it
But
comes.
they were sure to keep the mic away, so it's still believable.
Yeah, you saw Bischoff when he put the mic behind his back from Sting. He noticed Jeff Hardy was there, so he immediately moved it.
And then right there, and look at
Watch.
the crowd.
He tries to kick out. Oh, Sting's too strong, I see.
Yeah, I wonder how much Jeff was. If this is real, it's so hard. You have to preface it all the time. But because I don't want to be the guy that was going, oh, it was real, and then it turns out to be fake.
I'm
But
okay being that guy. This was so real. Sting is pissed. I've never been wrong. There is no way this was fake.
do you feel like we're almost supposed to feel like we watched the Montreal Screwjob there? Because look how confused Jeff is. Jeff looks like he legit tried to kick out, and then looks like he's pissed because they didn't let him wrestle a match.
But it's weird, because if they were trying to recreate the screw job, which WCW did try to do when Bret Hart came,
Yes.
they would try to make the screwed character sympathetic. In this case, they're making him a hated drug addict. So it's just a strange stance to take on the screw job thing.
Yeah, and I there's something about that. Like, that pin looked like, I felt like Sting was really using leverage to hold Jeff down. But
Yeah.
at the same time, Even though Jeff's way smaller, anybody could kick out of a pin. I mean,
No.
he really could have made it look like shit by lifting a shoulder up or something.
If you were in my room with me in the studio with me right now, I would pin you and to test it. I would look, Sting right there. I agree. They're chanting bullshit or something. I think they're chanting that belt sucks, and he's like, I agree.
It looks like the Divas Butterfly Championship, and I don't know why nobody addresses that.
So after watching this in full, what are your thoughts on the Sting Hardy fiasco?
Worst match Sting's ever been in, best match Jeff Hardy's ever been in.
Now, here's the thing. Is Sting good? Because I've ignored him my whole life watching WCW. He's just the guy that never went under Vince. That's what I knew him as. I kind of like him now. I know he's like 40, but didn't he just get good, or has he always been good?
No, I think he used to be a lot better. People tend to forget, when Sting had the blonde hair and the short haircut.
No.
And that was when he was in his prime, and that's when he was battling Ric Flair and Vader in the early days of WCW. And then Sting somehow he got a deal where he got to go 2 years without wrestling in WCW. And I think that really hurt his career.
Don't sit there and talk to me about fucking colorful Sting with blonde hair, because there was nothing likable or redeeming about that character. He was wacky voice, silly guy who put on... I never watched one of his matches, but Mick Foley said he had a good match with him, and I still don't believe it. I won't watch it. And then he put on, like, scary paint, and he still was wacky voice, silly guy. He's always been mind-boggling to me. But now that they mix the red, then they get some gold in the jacket, there's something about him that makes me want to get behind him.
Yeah, I'm not understanding why it is when he goes Liberace, that's when you decide you're going to be a fan of his.
Yeah, I want to get behind him. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Now, it was the whole fucking show. We've decided this is 100% real. There's no way it's fake. We completely buy into it, and we will put our show on the line. The whole fucking show.info, twitter.com/fucking show, whole fucking show on Facebook, and Danny Richardson, it's time for you to do what you do best. I was Kevin Scampola. You need to take us out with that infamous signature line that you always do.
The main one, the one that everybody loves?
Any of them.
Any of them. I'll pick from my list of the growing ending quotes here. But I was Danny Richardson. I am Primetime, the original icon, and the real-life Macaulay Culkin, which I know you love. And that was the whole fucking show.